it's just unbelievable with Tucker Carlson with this complaining about mask wearing. It has become their new cri de coeur. They want to complain about masks. And part of it is, I think that it is their sort of like, we can be vax deniers but we can get away with it with the masks. Now, I don't know what they're going to do now that the CDC has said, if you're vaccinated, you don't have to wear masks. But they had this short-lived like chance to talk about how oppressed they are because there's mask mandates, and that anybody who wears a mask is in some way like a girly man. I'm not making this up. Here is Tucker Carlson with that Matt Walsh, not the funny one, the one who's just like
libertarian.
Or no, not that one.
No?
A different one.
He's the funny one. I don't think either one are funny.
No. There's a funny one, and then there's the Matt Walsh, who's the libertarian, and then there's this one.
Got it.
Oh, I had the same experience you're talking about. I was in Austin a few days ago, and I'm walking outside without a mask on, and people are staring at me like I'm the crazy one for not having a mask on. Meanwhile, if you're walking outside with a mask on, I should be looking at you, and I do look at you like I would look at a grown man hugging a teddy bear and having a pacifier in his mouth while he's walking down the street. This is your security blanket. There's no reason for you to have it on. You're just afraid. You're afraid of fresh air. That's what's happening. People are afraid to breathe air, and we're making it so that kids are afraid of air too, and that's insane to me.
I agree with you completely. I would even actually up the analogy and say a vaccinated person, someone with the antibodies wearing a mask outside is like watching a grown man expose himself in public. That's disgusting. Put it away, please. We don't do that here. Anyway, Matt Walsh, thank you.
You know what? I got to say.
You do it there.
I got to say. I had the idea of a grown man exposing himself. That's disgusting. That was my feeling at looking at what Matt Walsh got going on with that beard and with his outfit. Like, I think I may have figured out why people were staring at Matt Walsh. And I got news for you. It wasn't just the mask.
Yeah, he could benefit from a mask in general.
I mean, honestly.
That's the beard idea is the first step towards a mask. Right. Covering up.
Like, obviously, Tucker Carlson, I know for a fact he's completely disingenuous in terms of, and has the ability to say just the most, he has the ability to cheerlead war when he doesn't even really care about it. I know that for a fact. So he could very well not care about this whatsoever. But the idea that the people would know that you are not vaccinated or know that you're vaccinated or that you have antibodies, and the only reason why you would wear a mask would be to protect yourself, as opposed to sort of like not have people freak out that they don't realize that you are vaccinated or you have antibodies, or that like, hey, it's signifying the pandemic is still going on. You need to do this. You need, mask wearing. We need to be careful. The idea that people would do that for the sake of the people around them or the community they live in is just a complete mystery to Tucker Carlson, or at least he pretends it is.
Listen, Sam, be a man. Be a man. Get your granny sick. Get your wife sick. Get your kids sick. Get hooked up to a respirator and show them how you can outlive that respirator, because that's what real men do while they're chomping on a burger and boycotting Epicurious.
It's very interesting to me how conservatives like Tucker, as Nomi is saying, conflate masculinity with just flagrant disregard for everyone around them. I mean, I think it says a lot about his psychology. And in the segment of his, maybe it was his opening monologue about how masks on children were akin to hitting a child in Walmart, and he said it was child abuse, right? And then he went on to say that white liberals, which is when Tucker's creating this narrative, he wants it basically to be Brooklynite liberals, because that is what angers his viewership the most. Some percentage of them feel that or have been diagnosed with a mental illness, and that's also something he says is basically weak. The fact that maybe liberals decide to go to a psychologist and examine how they think about the world. Conservatives aren't interested in that. So, I mean, so much of what this mask argument is about the way that he believes masculinity should be, which is careless disregard for others,
Right.
and not examining oneself internally. And dude, I think that says a lot more about you than it does about the mask. Like, why are we talking about that when it comes to a cloth covering on your face? The amount of mental leaps that he had to take to get there says way more about conservative insecurity than anything about the pandemic. It's many steps removed if you're looking at it logically, but
you're right.
not.
And it's what's so interesting is it's not like, I mean, between Jordan Peterson and Tucker Carlson and Ben Shapiro, I'm gonna just go with, if I was to create a calendar of masculinity, they would not be January through December on that. As a straight heterosexual woman, not my idea of rugged masculinity.
Oh, you're saying Tucker's high-pitched cackle? That's like barely human? That doesn't just scream masculinity to
Well,
you?
he got rid of the bow ties, so that's like, you know.
That's a bit of an upgrade.
On some level, they're just stealing, Dead Rush Limbaugh's whole shtick. Limbaugh 15 years ago, in the wake of 9/11, was talking about how feminized Democrats and liberals were, and how they're wearing pink ties, and that doesn't show strength. I mean, this is it's
Men
a
drink
struggle.
out of straws.
And Tucker Carlson, if I remember correctly,
What does that look like?
Tucker Carlson once was on a radio show bragging about how when he was approached by a gay man in somewhere, he beat him up or something. There is a story out there about Tucker Carlson bragging about that.
He was a part of the Dan White Society, as we covered.
Well, that's
the
true
guy
too.
who murdered
Yes.
Harvey Milk, revered him.
You know what I understand? Like, there was some, I don't know if it was SNL or one of these shows that does spoofs. The same men that like go to bachelor parties and like sit around, and they go to strip clubs and hire strippers, and they're all getting off with each other off of, I mean, women. I'm sorry, this might be a little grotesque, but I feel like this is the same type of guy. Like, they have no problem being in a incredibly awkward situation with like 12 to 20 men, and yet they can't wear an effing mask.
Well,
did I jump the shark here?
It's very feminizing.
No, I've thought about the bizarreness of that situation before, but I don't know. Yeah.
This is not a PG-13 show, is it?
No, it is not a PG-13 show.
But it just when he said like, we don't do that around here, as he sits in Fox News' studios, where like literally that's what they do, is expose themselves to women all day long.
Right.
The irony of that.
And well, at least one guy, Juan Williams, had COVID over there. All right.
I didn't mean that kind of exposure.
Oh, I see what you're saying.